Hello everybody and welcome back to another groom tack up and ride with me video, helmet cam edition. So today is a very exciting day because number one, I'm going to be riding somewhere I have never ridden before, so you guys have got some beautiful stunning views coming up. And number two, I'm actually going out with a friend, so yes, Casper, my horse, is going to be making a new friend. Also, we have Fossy with us, our new puppy. So while I was getting all of my tack in the horse box, Fossy was just chilling in his travel crate in the tack room because one of the things I really don't want him to develop is separation anxiety. So obviously this is not for a very long time at all, but we're just letting him know that it's okay to be on his own sometimes. And actually in the travel crate, he actually loves going in there. He actually goes into it himself and he often just goes in there and has a chill, has a little sleep. But anyway, then it is time to grab Mr. Joey, who has very long ears and his little ear did accidentally get stuck underneath the head collar. Also, Joey looks like he has been doing a mud facial because he is looking absolutely filthy. The night before this video was recorded, it absolutely chucked down and rained the whole night. You can also see it's a very misty day as well, so excuse the state of the fields. They are just absolutely destroyed. It's not going to be long now until we're actually going to be moving the horses into a different paddock because that one definitely needs a rest. So once I put Joey in his stable, it's then time to go down and get Casper, who you can only just about see because, as I said before, it is so foggy. He also has gone for the lovely mud facial look and is absolutely disgusting, but you know what? It is so important that he gets to roll, gets to be out and gets to be a horse. And here he got a little bit too excited because he thought, oh my gosh, Joey's gone in to go and have his dinner, I want to go in and have my dinner as well. So anyway, luckily he did come back to me when I said, no Casper, you are not bolting and running off with me. So that was the first antics of the day. Anyway, then I put Casper in the little grooming area. I also took off his very muddy rug and luckily he was nice and clean underneath. You might be able to spot in the background of today's video that my dad is wondering about, and that is because he is helping me with the horses and also with the new puppy as well. So do not worry, the new puppy is not being just abandoned. There he is with my dad, just saying hi, just checking up on him. Then it was time to give Casper a hay net because we had a big ride ahead of us, so it was important that he was fueled and ready for the day. Also, here is me attempting, I say attempting very lightly because really this grooming, I tried my very best, guys. I'm just gonna say it here today. Casper, he wasn't really filming ready. I mean, I tried my very best to get him as clean as possible, but he really did. He made my life difficult today. I also sprayed down his tail with some mane and tail detangler, also on his mane as well. And yes, he is almost 20 years of age, and yes, he is still a little bit scared of the spray bottle. You think by now he would learn that it's okay, but no, does not like that. Just like this boy does not like to be clean. Anyway, then I gave his mane a bit of a groom, his tail a little bit of a tidy up, and at this stage I was kind of like, okay, I've got most of the like chunky mud bits off the best I can, so I got myself a dandy brush and just tried to get off some of the like kind of dry remaining dust, and then I kind of thought, you know, to myself, you know what, this really is not doing much. Casper also on this particular day had such a dirty face just from, you know, rubbing it against fences, mud, Joey's bottom. Actually, Joey does that more to Casper, I would say. Joey's favourite thing is going up to Casper and rubbing his face all over Casper's bottom, and for some reason he tolerates it. So I decided to get a wet flannel. I actually gave Casper princess treatment today because the water that I used, I actually warmed up with a kettle. Obviously put some cold water in there because we don't want to just put boiling kind of burning water on his face. So it was a lovely nice warm hot towel, but like, you know, when you go to a spa or like a fancy restaurant, sometimes they'll give you like a little warm hot towel after you've had your food. Actually, I think it's just my local Chinese restaurant that does that, but anyway, then I gave his hocks a little bit of a clean, and look at that dirty water. Oh my goodness, I was like, like, we are going for a ride and we are probably going to go somewhere very muddy. So I was like, this is the best you're going to get. This is the cleanest Casper's going to look. I gave him a little dry off with a very, very old towel. Now, Casper, I felt like he would have looked cleaner if I'd clipped his whole face, but because he is a field-kept pony, I just like to keep his face hairy or fluffy because it just gives him a bit more protection against all the elements. And then it was time to pop a cooler on him. This is actually a brand new one, so thank you Lemieux for our very fancy cooler, because I thought he is clipped, I didn't want him getting too cold. Of course, I kept popping in to say hi to Fossey. He was such a good boy and settled down super quickly. Casper also decided to go to the toilet, so horse girl duties, had to go and clean that up. But actually it was so good having Fossey in the tack room, because obviously while I'm getting the horses ready, I'm going in and out of there all of the time, and it teaches him, yes, we do have time apart, but I always come back, and I do come back very, very regularly. And then once all of my tack was in the horse box, Casper was as clean as I possibly could get him. It was then time to lead the boy up into the horse box, ready for our ride. Now, I've been looking forward to this ride all week, because my friend, she has the best hacking where she lives, okay? Like, it is absolutely stunning. We had 2 huge gallops, and the horses, you will see in a second, but okay, Casper might have got a little bit too excited at one stage. But anyway, just did a little double check that all of my tack was there, because it was quite a journey to get to my friend's place, so I did not want to, arrive there and nothing be left behind. Then it was time to head on our journey to my friend's stables. Obviously, we had Fossey in the front with us in the cab. So as I said before, my dad is very kindly looking after him, keeping an eye on him. Casper here also was very confused about where we were, because we'd never been there before. Also at my friend's yard, there are a lot of horses. So of course, Casper had to say hello to all of them. And then I just popped on some boots. These ones are so old. I want to say they're about 6 years old. They're still going strong. They have been in the washing machine so many times before, because I thought we are going for a very long and very muddy ride. So you best believe I was like, let's put on the old boots. And then it was time to put on Casper's bridle and go on our ride. So I wasn't exactly sure what Casper was going to be like on this particular ride for many different reasons. When I first got Casper, he was a 7-year-old. He was very young and he would get very excited when going out with friends. Now he's an older horse. I thought, maybe he'll be a little bit more chilled. Now Casper, I would say, had 2 moods on this ride. It was either jig jogging on the spot, or it was loose reins, head down, trying to catch his breath, because he's a little bit older now he's 20. But the first kind of obstacle of this ride was we had to cross a main road. But luckily, where this main road is, because there are so many horse riders and so many stables in the area, there is actually a horse crossing, which I thought was just absolutely incredible. You will be able to see there's actually 2 buttons that you can press. You can either press the top one or the bottom one. I guess if you're on a smaller pony, or if you have a pedestrian with you, you can press that button. So of course, when we crossed the road and it was safe to do so, I said thank you to all the cars. What's also really nice is that there's this kind of fence where we're riding now in between us and the main road, just to feel a little bit safer with the cars going by very, very quickly. There's also a pedestrian crossing as well, so it's not like us horses have super special treatment. There's also one for just people, walking along, cyclists, people walking their dogs. And then we went on to a very small and sleepy country lane. Now, when I tell you, because I'm so used to riding and hacking around kind of forests or very kind of rural areas, being able to see all of these cute little cottages, oh my goodness, I am just like the most nosy person ever. It felt like I was riding through my dream right move. Like, I was just looking at all the properties, looking at all the different houses. There are some of them that are so old, especially like looking at all the old brickwork. I feel like this is the most like quintessentially British countryside kind of lane that you could ever think of. We even have some buildings and houses that have thatched roofs that are made of straw. There's lots of pretty gardens. gardens, there's wisteria growing and roses growing on the houses. Like, oh my goodness, I just could not get over how stunning this area is. So as you can tell, this road is very, very quiet. I think maybe in our whole ride or our whole hack, we probably passed maybe 3 or 4 cars. So it did feel very safe to be riding horses here. Also, we were listening out for cars the whole time, especially the times where we were riding side by side. We would only do that where the road was super, super straight and we could see if any cars or listen out for any cars that were coming. And also in the really, really quiet areas as well. You might be able to spot on the left hand side up on the hills there is a man, which is very, very cool. So a little something to spot there. You can find him, a bit like Where's Wally, I guess. Although I'm pretty sure in America you guys call him Where's Waldo. Do you call him? Let me know in the comments if it's Where's Wally for you or Where's Waldo, because for us it's definitely Where's Wally. Also, this whole ride I feel like Casper was just looking at the view. He was having so much fun. He's also such a nosy horse as well. You can see that by this point in the ride, part of it was probably due to me washing his ears earlier, but also he was getting a little bit sweatier, so you can see his little ears. They just look so fluffy and so kind of wet at the same time. Bless him. I think the whole ride he just had like a proper little march on. So we had a little trot up this hill and then it was finally time to go up onto the bridle path. So this was probably one of my favorite parts of the hack. Actually, there was the whole hack was just stunning. So also shout out to my friend for very kindly opening all of the gates for us. I just want to say, guys, I did offer to open like pretty much every gate, but she was like, nah, don't worry, girl, I'm the tour guide, I'm taking you where to go. Now, as you can see, Stella, her horse, is starting to trot here, so Casper was like, okay, we're going, and then the horses just absolutely flew. So at this point I was still trying to hold Casper back a little bit, but at this point I was like, okay, we've got a big hill ahead of us, we're just gonna go, let's go full blast, full gallop. And to be fair, I was thinking to myself while we were blasting along that, thinking about it, this is probably one of the safest places to go for a big gallop and a blast, apart from obviously if you have a gallop track, which is designed especially for horses. You have a surface. Also, apparently this water trough here was quite scary, and then by the time we did actually get to the top of the hill, we did get overtaken by my friend and her horse Stella. But do not worry, Casper, his little legs, he might be a little Connemara, but he was really trying to keep up the best he could. And also he's an older gentleman now, so he's not in his prime anymore. He's not as fit as he used to be. But as I was saying, I do think this area is one of the safest places to have a gallop, because the ground here is so good, because obviously it's chalk on the ground, as you can see by a lot of the pathways. Instead of it being mud, it's kind of like a light white colour, and so the drainage here is brilliant, so you don't have to worry about it being too muddy or sticky. Also, the grass length is brilliant. It's not too long that you can't really see if there are any potholes, but also it's not too short that you're going to be sliding around, or you have a little bit more cushioning as well with the grass. So the ground here is just absolutely brilliant, 10 out of 10. And also one of the other things I really like about it is because you're going up a hill, when your horse is deciding to, you know, gallop, it does, you know, it tires them out a little bit more. You just feel a little bit safer galloping up a hill than galloping on the flat. Maybe that's just me, but I do like going up a hill. And talking about hills, this ride, there was a lot of hills. This is like the ultimate hill workout. I'm not gonna lie, when I was looking at the view, it did give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. Like this here, oh my goodness, like stunning, don't get me wrong. Like now I'm watching this footage back and editing this video, I'm like, wow, I should have filmed that more. But actually, when I was looking, it kind of felt like, ooh, that is quite a steep drop, and I feel like the camera doesn't quite pick up how steep that drop was. Casper, though, he is a great little pony. He is very sensible as well. He knew to stick to the path, but obviously there's so many horses that come along here. Stella has been along here so many times before, so it was really nice coming along here with a friend as well, and having a horse that knew the ropes, knew what was coming. At this point we did have a walk just to get the horse's breath back. Casper did not want to listen to that, and of course did a few more kind of little mini trots slash jig jogs where he's kind of going at a walk pace but is moving his legs like he's trotting. Anyway, shout out out to these cyclists who were so kind and very kindly let the gate stay open for us, and here they are cycling away. Casper also had a big shake because he was very excited to be going somewhere new and exploring, and it was so lovely to be out very early on a Saturday morning. Like, the amount of people that were going for a run or going for a cycle and just taking in the breathtaking views was just incredible. And to think that there are places like this that you can literally just go for a walk for free. So this is your sign. Even if you don't have a horse or you're not a horse rider, just go for a little drive or just go for a little walk in your local area, because I'm sure there are some absolutely stunning places where you are. Now, once the horses had their breath back, it was then time to go for another gallop. So here I was like, okay, Casper, you go. I'm not going to hold you back. You can go as fast as you like. Now, the issue with Casper is he is quite a competitive horse. He likes to be in the lead. He likes to be the one doing the overtaking. So at the beginning, he just absolutely went for it. It's one of those things where it feels a lot faster when you're on the horse compared to looking back at the footage. You're probably looking at this and being like, Esme, it's not actually that fast. But because it was such a big open field and we went for so long, you kind of just get used to the speed. And then yeah, at this point we got overtaken. So Stella up ahead, she is half thoroughbred, and I think at this point in the ride she remembered her roots, that she is a thoroughbred and she likes to zoom. So I got a little bit left behind. Casper, bless him, he was really trying to go for it. Look at him, he's really trying his absolute all to catch up. My friend was trying to hold Stella back, trying to make it so we weren't getting too left behind. Casper was still going full blast up this hill, and also on the footage on the camera you really can't see how steep this hill is. Like, it's just getting steeper and steeper and steeper. We also had a little trot there because we had a little spook. There's me trying to have a little look at the view, when actually by the point that we got to the top of the hill my eyes were watering because we had gone so fast. At this point it's fair to say that Casper was starting to slow down. Even though Stella had gone back to trot and we were still cantering, it did take us quite a while to catch up with them. And then here I decided, okay, Casper, you really need to go back to trot soon and just get your breath back. I know you want to overtake, I know you want to be the leader, but going out for rides like this is so important for your horses. Not only physical health, because obviously this keeps them very fit, going for a big gallop, doing lots of hill work, but also it's so good for their mental health as well. Like, horses, they do like to run, they do like to go fast, and even though Casper is almost 20 and he's an older gentleman now, it's doing rides like these that keep your horses young, keep your horses fit. And that's why even though he's older, even though he's not as fast as he used to be or not as athletic, I think it's so important to keep Casper being ridden, to keep him young. And also here we are going through another gate expertly done. I also was looking at it for too long to make sure that it definitely closed, because obviously we do not want to upset any farmers by leaving gates open and sheep or cattle going in the wrong area. But it did mean that because I was looking at the gate, we almost walked into that pole. But luckily Casper, as I said before, he's very good at taking the wheel. He's like, nope, mum, we're not going to walk into this post, we're going to go around it. And then on our way back down the hill, this is when we had the view, and it was absolutely stunning. You can see I got my phone out because I was like, I need to film this. I need to film this for my socials because it was beautiful. I honestly felt like I was on some sort of like trail riding, horse riding holiday, because the views were just so beautiful. The whole time I was walking down, I was brave enough, guys, to look at the view. You could see some train tracks, you could see some cars driving by, you could see some little towns, you could also see somebody having a big bonfire, you can see all the smoke in the left hand corner. We also had some little bits that were a little bit bumpy, so Casper was very good at navigating that as well. And then it was time to go up over another hill and then down this way, which luckily had a nice gentle slope because the steepness of the other bit of the hill was incredibly steep. But both horses, honestly, this whole ride were so well behaved. Also, shout out to my friend again for doing all the gates. She very kindly got off Stella to do this one for us because apparently that one is a little bit trickier. I do feel like once you know the gates in your local kind of hacking or bridle path area, you know which ones are just so much easier just to get off for. Some of them can just be like a little bit heavy or just really want to slam on you. So Also, it worked out quite well that because it is so hilly here, my friend could actually go onto a little mount to get back up onto Stella. So it was almost like she had a natural mounting block for her. And then along here, you might be able to see we have the man again, the long man, which is very, very cool. So it's just around this little corner here. You might be able to spot him again in a second. Also, this hacking path was a little bit overgrown, so we did have to duck underneath some of the brambly bushes around here. But then boom, around this corner we have the view of the guy, which is very cool. Apparently in COVID they made a little mask on him, or somebody put a mask on him. He's also had top hats. He's also had other things added to him that is probably against the YouTube community guidelines for me to say, but if you do some research, you'll be able to find some interesting pictures of the long man. So there we go, a little bit of history, a little bit of local knowledge from my friend here. So anyway, then it was time to continue our ride across the bridle path. So I actually get quite a lot of questions from people that aren't from the UK about what a bridle path is, but basically it's a right of way that often goes through farmers' fields or pieces of land, and it means that horse riders can ride through there, cyclists can, people walking, dog walkers, that kind of thing, because I think a lot of people forget that England is a very old country. It's been around for a very long time before cars existed, so actually all of these trails or old rides people would have ridden their horses on many thousands of years ago. We also had a little spook at a very scary cone that I don't think was normally there. As I said before, we didn't have many cars drive past us, obviously. Always say thank you to them. Sometimes when you do say thank you, you do just have to hold both reins just for safety reasons. I'm pretty sure nowadays in Pony Club, like road rider tests, they teach you not to take your hands off the reins, just like nod and say thank you instead. Anyway, it was then time to go through this very pretty street that I commented on before about just how gorgeous and quintessentially British it is. Also, talking about very British things, you might be able to see that there is a red telephone box, and actually a lot of telephone boxes now have been changed into mobile libraries. So because obviously everyone pretty much has mobile phones nowadays, telephone boxes often aren't really used as telephones. So sometimes they have defibrillators in them, sometimes they have little book swap libraries, which I always think is such a cute and lovely idea. And then we were back to our horse crossing. You can see by Casper's ears sort of flicking back and forth, doing a lot of listening, that he was on a high alert, especially with all the traffic going by. But I think it was really good that he had Stella with him. Casper is the sort of horse where when he does have a friend with him, he's often a lot calmer, he doesn't feel as nervous, because horses are herd animals, and I think a lot of people forget that. So if you do have a horse that's nervous to go out hacking or go out on rides, take a friend with you, go with a friend, especially if they have an older, more mature horse that's very calm, a bit like Stella, even though Stella is younger than Casper. She's 17 and Casper is 20, but obviously this is not a normal scenario for him to be by such a main road. You can also see there's the little mountain block, which I think is so cool, and then of course here is me saying thank you to all the cars as we go by. And again, I just think it's so good that there is a horse crossing, and also that there's this big fence here between you and the cars, especially in the sort of waiting area. My friend was saying how at this horse crossing you press the button and it either goes like green straight away, ready for you to cross, or sometimes you do have to wait around a little bit. I guess it kind of just depends on the flow of traffic and that kind of thing. And then it was time to head back to her stables, and we had so much fun. Casper, I think, had like one of the best days ever, so we definitely need to go on more rides together. Once we were back, my dad obviously had to say hi to Stella, and Casper had to give his girlfriend some goodbye kisses as well. These two got along so well, so yes, definitely more hacks together to come. And apparently Fossey the puppy was such a good boy while we were gone as well, and my dad very kindly looked after him. Then once Casper was all untacked, had all of his travelling gear back on, so his cooler and his travel boots, it was then time to drive home and get the boy out. Oh my goodness, he was so tired the next day, bless him. He did have the day off, do not worry guys. So actually originally I was going to take my other horse, Joey, the one right here, for this hack, but we actually had a really hard dressage lesson the day before, so I thought Joey is going to be absolutely pooped. So you know what? Let's take the old man out. Let's take Casper out and see what he thinks. And I just cannot get over with how good both horses were. I honestly was expecting Casper to maybe have a little squeal, maybe have a little bronk, maybe have a little excited buck, but he was just so well behaved. I thought also that he might be showing off to his new girlfriend, but he was the best boy. He was so well behaved. Talking about the best boys, it was also then time to go and let Fossey out for a wee. So once I had done that, it was then time to finish off doing Casper. I also put Fossey in the tack room so he could have a little look at us while I was putting everything away, putting away my boots. They also needed a good old clean because everything did get a little bit dirty, but you know what? It's November and that's just how things are. But anyway, thank you so much everybody for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!